The final defining chapter of a broken empire is almost always written by the ones who silently chose to stay in the deepest shadows. For over a decade, the entire world watched the dramatic, highly publicized fracturing of the elite Jolie-Pitt dynasty through the overt actions of the older siblings. We saw Maddox and Paxthien deploy fierce protective walls of strategic silence and volcanic emotional detachment to fully insulate their family. We witnessed Shiloh and Zahara utilize the raw power of the official court system and the spoken word to formally, legally, and permanently strip the Pitt surname from their adult identities. But as the chaotic dust of Hollywood's most toxic, prolonged custody battle finally settles in the modern era, the public spotlight has reluctantly but intensely shifted to the most private, mysterious, and aggressively protected member of the entire family. Born amidst a multi-million-dollar media frenzy on the heavily guarded sunny coast of Nice, France, Knox Leon Jolie Pitt was marked from his very birth as the ultimate male heir to his father's legendary golden Hollywood legacy. Yet, as he steps into legal adulthood, Knox has successfully pulled off the absolute ultimate rebellion in modern celebrity culture, the disciplined, quiet act of becoming completely invisible. Today, we look deep into the untold journey of Knox Jolie, the hidden twin who possesses the exact, haunting physical blueprint of Brad Pitt, but who has consciously, deeply chosen to erase the traditional Hollywood pipeline in order to live a life entirely on his own, independent terms. To truly and deeply understand the intense protective ring and the culture of privacy that surrounds Knox today, one must travel back to the historic pop culture summer of 2008. The birth of Knox and his fraternal twin sister Vivienne was treated by the global paparazzi and mainstream news networks as nothing short of a royal arrival. The historic Fondation Lenval Hospital in France was literally barricaded with extreme security, bulletproof windows, and private guards to prevent illegal intrusion. Mainstream global media networks engaged in a fierce, unprecedented bidding war just to secure the rights to the very first photograph of the newborns. A capitalist battle eventually won by People and Hello magazines for a staggering, record-breaking $14 million. To this very day, those remain the most expensive celebrity photographs ever sold in human history. From his very first weeks on Earth, Knox's face was worth millions to the corporate machine. Millions of casual observers and industry insiders meticulously analyzed his baby features, instantly and universally noting that out of all the children in the household, Knox inherited the exact striking bone structure, masculine jawline, and classic blonde, blue-eyed aesthetic of a young, prime Brad Pitt. He was mathematically and visually positioned by the world to be the next big leading man of cinema, the natural biological successor to a multi-billion-dollar entertainment throne. But while the entire entertainment industry waited for him to grow up and claim his vanity birthright, Knox's internal psychological compass was quietly steering him in the absolute opposite direction. Growing up as the youngest son in a highly scrutinized, complex and intensely watched multicultural household meant that Knox experienced the concept of regular life through a heavily filtered, protected lens. He was only 8 years old when the infamous, catastrophic September 2016 private jet incident shattered his entire family structure overnight, splitting his parents forever. Too young to legally participate or defend himself in the toxic courtrooms like his adult older brothers, and too young to escape the intense custody visitation restrictions mandated by the judges, Knox and his twin sister Vivienne naturally became the core, vital focus of Angelina Jolie's fierce, hyper-vigilant protective instincts. While their older siblings began traveling across continents for university studies, international human rights work, or independent film projects, the twins remained close to their mother's side in their sprawling Los Angeles compound. Knox grew up watching the highly destructive, predatory reality of global fame from strictly behind closed doors. He saw firsthand how the cameras turned genuine, visceral family pain into cheap public entertainment, and how high-priced public relations teams attempted to subtly manipulate his own image for media points. This early, intense exposure did not make him crave the spotlight. It made him deeply, permanently distrust it. While his Hollywood peers and fellow celebrity children actively leveraged their famous parents' names to build massive social media empires, secure luxury fashion modeling contracts, or launch unearned privileged acting careers, Knox did the absolute unthinkable in the internet age. He chose complete and total anonymity. He has never owned a public social media account, refusing to give the internet access to his daily life. He does not attend elite Hollywood parties. He does not walk the superficial red carpets of corporate vanity projects, and he completely refuses to partake in the hollow, metrics-driven culture of influencer fame. Even within his own family's intimate artistic endeavors, where his twin sister Vivienne helped produce a major Broadway show, and his older brothers worked passionately as assistant directors on set. Knox chose to remain a quiet, supporting observer. He focused his adolescence entirely on private intellectual studies, local skateboarding, competitive sports, and mechanical engineering, developing a grounded, real-world personality far away from the toxic, reality-distorting bubble of nepotism privilege. He developed a life where his worth was measured by his skills, not by his historic lineage. The world was left completely stunned and speechless in late 2024 when Knox made his first formal public appearance in over 3 years. Walking alongside Angelina Jolie at the prestigious Governor's Awards in Los Angeles, a teenage Knox sent massive shockwaves through the international media landscape. Stepping onto the carpet in a classic, perfectly tailored tuxedo with a sharp, modern buzz cut, his physical resemblance to his father, Brad Pitt, was so undeniable it was almost eerie. Internet forums, entertainment blogs, and major news outlets were instantly flooded with viral side-by-side photo comparisons, calling him a literal clone of his father during his 1990s Hollywood prime. But the true lasting power of that historic appearance lay not in his extraordinary genetics, but in his calm demeanor. Knox didn't utilize the global media spotlight to announce an upcoming movie deal, launch a fashion brand, or give a superficial interview. He attended the high-profile events solely, exclusively to support his mother, maintaining a calm, introverted, and incredibly respectful dignity that refused to feed into the predatory, chaotic energy of the press. It was a visual masterpiece of quiet irony. The boy who looked the absolute most like Brad Pitt was standing firmly, proudly and exclusively by the side of Angelina Jolie, completely detached from his father's social sphere. By consciously choosing a life of absolute personal privacy and completely rejecting the traditional Hollywood star-making machinery, Knox has executed a profound, highly sophisticated, and quiet form of defiance against the industry. He has completely denied the corporate entertainment system the satisfaction of turning his personal life into a commercial product or a marketable sequel. Like his older siblings, Knox's emotional allegiance to the single mother who raised him through the darkest, most terrifying years of the custody war is absolute, silent, and unbreakable. He does not need a public court filing, a legal name change document, or an angry social media rant to declare his independence. His total, disciplined refusal to participate in his father's elite, glamorous world speaks absolute volumes to those who understand the industry. He has effectively broken the genetic curse of Hollywood fame, proving to the world that looking like a legend does not mean you are forced to repeat his personal history. Today, Knox Jolie stands firmly at the threshold of his own independent adult life, a resilient, quietly brilliant young man who has successfully survived one of the most toxic, prolonged family collapses in modern pop culture history. Alongside Maddox, Pax, Shiloh, and Zahara, he forms the final unbreakable brick in a protective family wall that cannot be breached by tabloids or PR campaigns. He has proven to a cynical world that the ultimate victory over inherited trauma, intense public scrutiny, and a broken home is not fame, public validation, or corporate wealth. It is the quiet, unbothered luxury of a private life. From a $14 million infant surrounded by paparazzi, to an independent man who actively, peacefully chooses the shadows over the spotlight. Knox Jolie has shown the entire world that you do not need to speak loudly or act aggressively to assert your true power. Sometimes the most revolutionary, powerful thing you can do in a modern world obsessed with being seen is to choose to remain completely unseen, completely free, and entirely your own person.